Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution radio program, where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Levinsky is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace. He has a great topic this evening to talk about. Really good. So definitely stay tuned. I wanted to discuss in this session a topic that comes up from time to time and something that's really pretty important and not a lot of attention is given to it. And that's with the idea of aptitude testing. I recommend aptitude testing for kids before they go to college, right after they go to college. You can do it up until, of course, you're 60 years old or however age you want. But it's really important to know your aptitudes. Now, I'm not talking about a $35 aptitude test that you buy over the internet. I'm talking about in-depth aptitude testing that tests everything from spatial recognition to verbal ability, to problem-solving ability, to decision-making judgments, and in-depth aptitude testing. One organization that, and I have no affiliation with them at all, but we had all of our kids do when they graduated from college, is the Johnson O'Connor organization. It's a foundation. It's a non-for-profit organization, but they give you an idea. They test you a whole day and give you an idea of what your aptitudes are. And it's so important to know what your aptitudes are. Sometimes people want to make careers in things that they don't have an aptitude for. One of the candidates that I years ago recommended getting an aptitude testing, he thought he wanted to make a career in music, and it turned out he was tone deaf. So he might be able to do well on the business side of music, but he wouldn't do very well on the music side of music because he was tone deaf. One of my candidates thought maybe he wanted to be a teacher and a coach because he had played football on the college level. And it turned out that, well, yeah, he could be, but the recommendation was he really doesn't have any patience. So he was going to have a hard time teaching people, especially on the high school level, maybe the college level, maybe not teaching at all, but that he was impatient. Now, what's interesting about these aptitude tests is that they don't normally tell you anything you don't already have an inclination or a thought about, but they just codify what you probably already know or expand your understanding about yourself. Mentally, physically, sometimes psychologically, so that you have a good foundation of what direction you might take your career and what you have a leaning toward. I never took any aptitude tests, but I could tell you if I took an aptitude test in accounting, I would do lousy, just plain old lousy. So I recommend that you take these aptitude tests to find out where your leanings are. Now, a lot of organizations that we work with over the years do give aptitude tests before they hire candidates for certain kinds of positions. And it isn't so much to eliminate them, although I guess that could happen, as it is to find out, do they have an inclination towards an aptitude? Now, aptitude testing cannot test passion, can't test commitment, it can't test work ethic, it can't test the integrity of a person. It can't test anything like that. But it can give you indications of what you're leaning towards as far as your abilities. Are you really good at math? Are you really good at focusing on, are you good at colors? Yeah, you would make a lousy painter if you didn't have an aptitude for colors. And I'm colorblind, so I wouldn't have made a very good painter. Now, that sounds really ridiculous, but uh, it, I might have tried over a number of years to try to make a career out of something that I had no aptitude for. So I suggest that everybody take aptitude testing. The younger you are, when you do it, the better off you are. And I've known lots of candidates to take the results of the aptitude testing that they've had into interviews with them, showing prospective employers that they had aptitudes in the fields that they have been successful in or fields that they are looking to go in, and show that they score in a upper percentile in uh, number crunching or analytics or being analytical, uh, being visual, um, logical and critical thinking, creative thinking, and things like that. So it's a good idea to get that kind of thing done as soon as you possibly can. Some companies do it when they do the interviewing process. It ebbs and flows depending on a lot of times on the economy, but lots of companies use them. And I suggest that an individual go out, get their own aptitude testing done uh, before they even go into the interviewing process. And then once they do, they have something that they can show a prospective employer where their aptitudes are leaning. And it's just good to know, even if you never use it for anything like that in an interviewing situation, it's really good to know. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.